Forget the store. Forget the wall of frames. I want to show you a room you've probably never seen. A lens lab. Machines the size of refrigerators, spinning, grinding a disc of plastic to a curve measured in thousandths of a millimeter, coating it in chambers that hum like jet engines. This room is the real story. Not the frame, not the logo. This. Here's the puzzle. You've heard you can buy cheap glasses now. It's true. $20 pairs exist online. So why hasn't the whole industry collapsed to $20? Why does the lens in a good pair of progressives still cost a small fortune? Why has no scrappy startup truly broken the high end? The answer isn't the frame. It's who owns the machines in this room. Quick reset. We've taken a frame apart before. A frame is cheap, a few dollars of acetate or steel. Anyone with a small factory can make one. So if you wanted to start a glasses company tomorrow, the frame would be the easy part. Which means the frame was never the thing protecting this industry. The moat is somewhere else entirely. It's in the lens. And the lens is genuinely hard. A basic single vision lens, not too bad. But a modern premium lens is a feat of precision manufacturing. Take a progressive lens, the kind that lets you see far, middle, and near without a visible line. Its surface is a smooth, continuously changing curve, cut to your exact prescription. Freeform, they call it. That's not stamped out in bulk. It's surfaced, one lens at a time, by computer-controlled machines working to microns, then polished, then coated, layer after microscopic layer, inside vacuum chambers for anti-reflection, scratch resistance, UV. Get it slightly wrong, and the wearer gets headaches, distortion, swim. So the tolerances are brutal. You don't do this in a garage. You do it with serious, expensive machinery. So here's the question almost nobody asks. Who makes that machinery? The surfacing machines, the coating chambers, the polishers. There are a handful of makers in the world, but the single largest, by a wide margin, is a Swiss company called Satisloh. By some measures, it supplies over 40% of the world's lens surfacing and coating equipment. Now the twist. In 2008, Essilor, the world's largest lens manufacturer, bought Satisloh. Sit with that. The company that makes more lenses than anyone on Earth also owns the leading maker of the machines that everyone else needs to make lenses. They even built a whole equipment division around it. So if you open an independent lens lab, there's a real chance the equipment humming on your floor was built by your single biggest competitor. And the machine is only half of it. The other half is what you're legally allowed to make. The most desirable lens technology is branded and patented, and the same company owns the crown jewels. The progressive lens brand you've heard of, Varilux, Essilor's. The premium anti-reflective coating, Crizal, Essilor's. The lenses that darken in sunlight, Transitions, Essilor bought that company outright in 2014 for around $1.7 billion. So a startup can make a plain lens. What it can't do is make a Varilux or a Crizal or a Transitions. The exact names people walk in and ask for are owned upstream. And now step back, because here's the shape of the whole thing. For decades, Luxottica pushed downstream, buying the brands, the stores, the vision insurance, everything between the factory and your face. For those same decades, Essilor pushed upstream, buying the lens patents, the coatings, the photochromic tech, and the machines themselves, everything behind the factory door. Two companies building from opposite ends of the same chain. Then, in 2018, they merged. The result is a single company with a hand on nearly every link, from the milling machine that shapes the lens, to the brand on the frame, to the store that sells it, to the insurance card that pays for it. And this is why the moat is invisible. You see brands competing on the shelf. That's the surface. You see the markup on the receipt. That's the symptom. But the real lock is in a room you never enter, the lab, the machine shop, the patent filing. A challenger can copy the frame, copy the website, even undercut the price on a simple pair. But to make the full range, the premium progressives, the advanced coatings, the photochromics, At quality and at scale, they keep running into the incumbent, buy its machines, license its tech, or quietly order the lenses from labs inside its network. The competitor's independence often runs on the incumbent's equipment. That's why the disruptors nibble the cheap end, basic single vision pairs, but rarely take the profitable top. The top is where the machines and the patents live, and those are spoken for. To be fair, this isn't a sealed vault. Satisloh is the biggest machine maker, not the only one. Real competitors exist. Some online brands run their own factories and turn out genuinely cheap lenses. You can absolutely buy a usable pair for $20. But cheap and usable at the bottom is not the same as competing across the whole market. At the high margin top, the lenses that actually fund this industry, the means of production are concentrated, and they tilt one way. And it shows up at home, too. In markets like the Philippines, the premium lenses, the progressives, the brand name coatings carry the same global premium because the technology and much of the machinery sit overseas. Your local lab may be excellent, but the machine it runs on and the patent it works around were likely decided somewhere far away. So go back to that room, the machines, the hum, the plastic spinning down to microns. The reason you can't really buy cheap glasses across the whole range from anyone, anywhere, was never about the frame. The frame was always cheap. The frame was always the decoy. The moat was the machine, and the company that makes the most lenses quietly owns the thing that makes the lenses. So the next time someone hands you a pair and tells you the price is about quality, ask them who owns the factory the rest of the industry has to rent.